When Kingdom Come Deliverance first launched in February of 2018, it took quite a few people by surprise. Its no-nonsense simulation of life in 15th century Bohemia both excited and frustrated a player base that wasn't used to something this grounded. And while it found a fervent fanbase immediately, our reviewer gave it an 8 at release, which is a great on our scale, bugs both big and small hampered the early experience. But with constant attention from developer Warhorse Studios and several big content updates, not to mention a sequel that blew the franchise wide open, KCD is highly regarded now as the start of something special. And now with the next-gen update on consoles alongside further tweaks for PC, it has a chance to find new life again. Here's everything that's been added to Kingdom Come Deliverance since launch, updated for the new native release on PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. Before any of the major updates, Warhorse released several patches all the way through patch 1.5, with hundreds if not thousands of bug fixes, as well as new features and small additions. Patch 1.1 was available on day 1 and added multiple world events, retooled dialogue animations and UI, and rebalancing across all game systems. Patch 1.2 released later the same week and continued with smaller tweaks. The first big community requests were addressed in a series of 1.3 patches, namely the save system, and improvements to lockpicking and pickpocketing, as well as various bug and performance improvements, including Look, I've done a lot of update videos for IGN, and I think this might be my favorite patch note that I've ever seen. Alchemy Bench will no longer shoot you into the air. Just great stuff, all around. This update also added VSync options for PC, and over 300 other fixes across various quests. 1.4 continued with the bug fixes, but also saw the release of the HD texture and audio pack for PC, upgrading the look and sound of the base game for free. And in April, the Treasures of the Past DLC was offered as a paid release, adding treasure maps to the world that let Henry find valuable loot. I've gone over some of the biggest additions in this early release period, but there are honestly a ton more I just didn't have time for in this video, including giant patches that continue to squash bugs and improve performance alongside the release of the full DLCs. If you'd like, you can check out the detailed patch notes in the news feed on KCD's Steam page. Ow. Ever heard of Hardcore Henry? No, not that one.
What on earth did you get up to last night?
June of 2018 saw the release of patch 1.6, which also included Hardcore mode for free. Doubling down on the simulation aspects of KCD, Hardcore mode takes away compass directions, fast travel autosaves, and adds things like delayed effects from potions, more realistic combat, and more punishing shop prices, among other detriments. It also requires you to take additional negative perks for Henry's build. It's truly for the medieval sickos among us.
You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems.
The first major additional content update for the original KCD was From the Ashes. This DLC saw Henry take over the management of the town of Pribyslavitz as the appointed bailiff, with new mechanics coming alongside his role. Pribyslavitz is located in the same area you fought the bandit camp headed by Runt in the main game, and after that encounter, Henry must rebuild structures, settle arguments among the villagers, and take responsibility for minting as much groschen as possible in the efforts to rebuild. It's integrated into the main story and forces Henry to be responsible, which makes the contrast with the second major DLC even funnier.
You, Hal, shall be my messenger of love.
Released in October of 2018 in the Amorous Adventures of Bold Sir Hans Capon, Henry is compelled to help everyone's favorite pompous jerk Sir Hans woo the daughter of the butcher, Carolina.
Carolina. The butcher's daughter.
Between gambling for jewelry, sneaking where you don't belong, and running interference as the world's greatest wingman, perhaps with some murder along the way, you can help your buddy deal with the stresses of command while possibly learning something, or absolutely nothing, in the process. It is Hans, after all.
Your most ardent admirer, fair maid.
Aha! And do you have a name?
What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would still be a flower, wouldn't it?
With the new Hans DLC also came Update 1.7, which added a massive amount of quest bug fixes and optimizations, as well as the tournament mode. Every week in Ratai's courtyard, a repeatable tournament is held that you can compete in.
I'm looking for a Sukuno.
Released early the next year in February of 2019, Band of Bastards tasks Henry with traveling alongside a group of ne'er-do-wells as they patrol the roads for danger. Not only are you there to assist with some of the most challenging combat the game has to offer, but also to make sure these scoundrels don't get up to too much fun-loving along the way. While the premise starts simply enough, it also ties into Sir Radzig's backstory as some of his old enemies return to the forefront. It's quite a departure from the previous Han-centric DLC. A romantic side story, this is not.
We need a guide who knows these parts. So I hope I can rely on you.
Coming next in May of 2019 was A Woman's Lot. In keeping with the theme of these DLC adventures, this one also offers something completely different, this time in the addition of a playable character. In the original game, after you're attacked while returning to Skalitz just after the intro, Teresa shows up with soldiers from Talmberg to save Henry's life, and then you wake up immediately after. A Woman's Lot shows the Skalitz attack and Henry's rescue from Teresa's perspective, and also adds an animal companion both her and Henry can play alongside. Other than Teresa's questline, there's also a new one for Henry, in which he has to help another victim of the Skalitz raid rebuild her life. And alongside this DLC, in conjunction with the periodic bug fixes and optimizations, came an overhaul of the game's tutorial and enhanced dating features with Teresa. Lastly, while mods were already available and touted by the developer, official modding tools came to KCD in October of 2019. All of these updates and DLCs were rolled into a new package, the Royal Edition. This stood as the definitive version of the game until now. Now we have the next-gen update. The new console versions use the PC Ultra Quality preset as a baseline, and added new FSR Super Resolution support alongside actually bumping up the native resolution. Optimized multi-threading, asset streaming, and other modern graphical improvements have been used to target 60 FPS at this ultra quality, and many stability, UI, and gameplay fixes have been made across the board. They've also added a ton of localization options, including Czech and Japanese voiceover, as well as cross-save between generations, meaning PS4 players can now transfer their saves to PS5, and Xbox One players can transfer saves to the Xbox Series consoles. Most importantly, this is all free for existing owners. New players who purchase the Standard Edition will receive the base game with next-gen improvements, as well as all the free updates, and purchasers of the still available Royal Edition will receive everything, DLCs included. Just like Henry, the original Kingdom Come Deliverance has come a long way. What started as what could be seen as a niche simulation-heavy RPG has turned into a franchise phenomenon. We hope this video gave you some perspective about the state of KCD compared to when it started. And for everything else gaming, keep it right here on IGN.
What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith.